Before I worked with Palmer, I had had psoriasis and the arthritis that goes with that for about 25 years. And I'd been on standard medication most of that time, and I still wasn't really feeling my best. It took care of some of the psoriasis and arthritis symptoms, but I was having other autoimmune symptoms as well, such as brain fog, inflammation, joint pain, and just really not feeling very good. I had 3 young kids, just pretty much tired all the time, and knew there was other things brewing besides what was already going on. Well, I'd started following Palmer on social media, and I followed her journey and what she had been through. And I actually got her book. And after reading her book, I reached out to her and I said, Palmer, are you taking new clients? And she wasn't at that time. So I kind of muddled through a few other practitioners. Then she actually reached out to me and she said, oh, I am taking new clients. So then I knew it was the right time to actually start working with her and Dr. Pedro. I wanted to work with Palmer specifically because she had been somebody who'd been through her own journey. And when I started having these other symptoms, in my family, we have MS. My grandfather had MS, and I never actually met him before because he passed away at a young age. And I knew that I wanted to pass on to my family. Instead of passing on, wealth, I knew that health was the knowledge I wanted to pass on to them. And I knew I had to work with somebody who had been there and done that, like Palmer. And that's exactly what I got from her, a way to teach my family also how to live to prevent future autoimmune issues. Palmer explains the autoimmune equation as basically, if you want to get better from autoimmune conditions, you have to subtract the things that made you sick. And she explains that you have a bucket. You're born with a bucket and it fills up as you age, and that bucket tips over, and that's when all the symptoms start to show and problems arise. So you've got to empty one toxin at a time. Some of them are small and some are big. Some of them take more time than others. So I think you have to address all those things to get well from autoimmune problems. My biggest improvements was actually working with her whole FIGHTS program. Like FIGHTS is her whole program, and it works on food, infection, gut, hormones, and toxins. And we addressed every single one of those issues. And the way they addressed them was in a kind, compassionate way that Dr. Pedro and her both, they treat it like you've known them forever and they want to get to the root cause, but they do it in a way that you're comfortable with. They don't force you to do anything. And I never felt pressure to pay for extra things I wasn't ready for. We did it in a good, concise way that honestly, they were both on my side and they helped me every step of the way. I would say today I'm so much better. I have just transformed everything about my health and, like I said, my family's health, which is really the big important part for me to get my family on board. With me having the genes that I have, the neat thing about Palmer and Dr. Pedro, they teach you that it's all about the epigenetics and turning those genes off. I think people don't know about that, and I hope that more people can use her program and find out they can do that too. One of her quotes that she uses quite often is, whether you think you're right or you think you're wrong, you're right. It's not to be afraid to try new things and not to be afraid to reach out there and do the things that could possibly help you. Palmer always says that we're the captain of our own ship. She empowers you to find out how to be healthier and not to keep adding on autoimmune diseases and problems. And honestly, use it as a stepping point to be healthier than you've ever been.